I'm very upset someone didn't swap these pictures on on Newsmax. This is on Newsmax's National Report. John Paul McIsaac is apparently appearing with a Ken doll made entirely out of marzipan that was dipped in bronzer. And I know what you're thinking. If he's got the hard drive and there's all these new explosive details, why are we seeing the same fucking pictures over and over again? I don't know either. I think it's a great question. Has it been asked? No, it hasn't. Let's see, shall we? I want to know, because the title of this one intrigued me. The FBI was in on it. Man who exposed Hunter Biden laptop reveals cover-up on the National Report. It's got 23,000 views. Hold on, let me scroll this down. 23,849 views. People watching this thing. Only 3,000 likes. Speaking of which, don't forget to like and subscribe. You're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide. When they put these clips up, I do the whole goddamn thing. I don't pick little pieces out like other people on the internet and go, gotcha. I do the whole thing. If they do a whole clip where they're just an asshole for 4 minutes and 18 seconds, and the last 2 seconds they pull it out and they're like, ta-da, I apologize. I'm like, well, I'll show that part too. And I was wrong to make fun of them, and they never do. But at least my conscience is clear. Hunter Biden laptop repairman sues for defamation. He's, spoiler alert, he's going to lose. But let's see what Marzipan Ken, and I don't know who this guy is, asks McIsaac. All right. Oh, wrong one. Let's go. Here we go.
Well, on October 14th, when the New York Post ran the story.
October 14th, a day that will live in bullshittery.
My information was leaked, and
it was leaked? Was it leaked?
Pretty much right out of the gate, I was labeled a hacker, and then
well, you did look at some dude's hard drive without his fucking permission. Now, again, this dude lost his fucking business in a way that's only slightly adjacent to the entire Hunter Biden controversy around stuff. It's just that, wait a minute, if I drop my computer off at this motherfucker's shop, he thinks he's allowed to just rifle through my emails? What a fucking creep. This is the question, and to the lawyers who are pushing back against this at CNN and stuff, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you think of a single computer entity, a business entity, Geek Squad, fucking Best Buy, a local repair shop like this man's, or any other, that if it were generally known that if you leave your hard drive over there, that you left there to get fixed overnight, if you leave it there, he will eventually look through your private documents without asking your permission. He will claim it as his property. And there is no indication, by the way, that he legitimately called Biden and had him pick it up or spoke to anyone, because it wasn't really Biden that dropped them off. They were fake to start with. The same dude who dressed up as Hunter Biden and dropped the fucking thing off was dressed as one of the FBI agents that came and got it. Jesus Christ. But can you think of a single computer repair shop where if it got out that, yeah, the dude who runs the place, like if you leave your shit there, he'll go through your emails and contact the police and God, what if he doesn't find anything illegal? He'll just masturbate to it, I guess. Yes, and he is technically blind. He can see 4 to 6 inches in front of his face, which is exactly why, if you were a Russian agent, why you would have somebody who vaguely, in a blurry sense, looks kind of like Hunter Biden, come in, mumble a bunch, drop something off, and as long as you say, stay a foot away from his fucking face, he couldn't pick you out of a goddamn lineup. What are you talking about? Sounds like a lot of balloon juice to me. That's right, Michael.
An agent of Putin or a part of a Russian disinformation campaign.
You were part of a Russian disinformation campaign. You just weren't an active participant that we know of.
I first went after Twitter because if I ever wanted to rebuild my computer business.
You will never be able to rebuild your computer business because everybody knows that if they leave their shit at your place too long, you will start rifling through their personal documents. You'd have to be a fucking moron to drop off your private devices with this idiot. For fuck's sake. Who would do that? And by the way, you don't think this asshole wouldn't have bang up fucking Republican business if he opened up a shop right now, right? He opens up, the guy's like, that's the dude who found Hunter Biden's laptop. Every Republican's like, well, that's my guy. He's protecting Trump. He was the guy. He fell on the sword for everything. He's going through all this stuff. You know, he does look through your shit, though. I'm not taking my shit over there. Get the fuck away from what the fuck? Why would I do that? Are you out of your goddamn mind? I'm not taking... Ask yourself this question. Knowing what we know about this man's business practices, is Matt Gaetz going to drop off his busted phone there? Do you think Joel Greenberg is going to leave his laptop or his desktop or his fucking hard drive or drop off some, like, dude, I wouldn't have him repair RAM. The fuck?
Having a label of hacker over my head is just, that's never going to happen. It's a death sentence in my industry. So,
well, hey, then you maybe shouldn't have looked at somebody else's computer because you politically don't like them and sifted through their fucking information and then gave it, instead of made a copy, kept it for yourself and gave it to a political operative working for the other side within months of a fucking election. Hacker. He's not a hacker. You're giving him too much fucking credit. He wishes. Yeah, right. He's just a thief. The irony is that he's a peeping Tom.
We went after Twitter, and
can you believe it? These were on the, look at this. This is of course a picture of Hunter Biden and his father sharing a child. They both ate this child. He's like, who gets the wishbone? I think was on the recording.
And I got destroyed by Twitter. The judge was replaced with an Obama-appointed judge. The case was thrown out, and I was punished by the...
Oh, here, dude, don't get me wrong. I certainly hope that you get your day in court. For fuck's sake, please let somebody have discovery on your bullshit story about the magic FBI guys. And please, please, please let him tell. You guys have seen me do this before. When he was on Bowling Show and he started talking about the mean FBI guys who threatened his life. Please bring those fuckers up again. Does he know their names? No. Is their names on the paper that he dropped? No. Just was like, Dear FBI. Dear FBI.
The Florida slap legislation by Twitter. So I never thought I'd have the opportunity to seek accountability for those who slandered me. And
they're not slandering you.
And until the
that's a logical evaluation of your qualities as a repair shop technician. This motherfucker will look at your shit. You're done.
America Project stepped up about a month ago and offered to...
Oh, it's weird. About a month ago. That's weird. Huh.
To step in and...
Huh. It wouldn't have anything to do with them. Why wouldn't they have done it last year? Oh, right, because we're not leading up to the midterms. I see.
Sponsor my lawsuit. So I had wanted to go after Adam Schiff for...
Sorry. I've just... You'll have to excuse me. I've never seen an Eddie Munster made out of nougat before.
For a while.
Guys, I don't know if he said anything. I haven't.
He was quite quick to go on CNN and tell their viewers that this was all coming out of the Kremlin, and I was part of a Russian disinformation campaign. And
Yeah, that again, you're not going to get anything for that because you are a part of it. You just don't have to be an active part of it to be a part of it, dum-dum.
And the notion of me contributing or working with a foreign power to interfere with a national election, I mean, that's being labeled a traitor.
That's traitor. Treason meets traitor. That's traitor. No, you can just be a fucking moron.
And I can't.
No, we're not saying. No one is accusing you of treason, sir. Of any legitimacy. And if they are, they're giving you far too much credit. Literally, Rudy Giuliani and his ilk and his attorney who knew your dad and knew this shop or whatever cooked up this scheme after the whole Keith Abloh scheme didn't work out with the hard drive that they bought, and they loaded it onto this fucking busted hard drive and bounced it and then gave it to you and said, hey, can you transfer this shit over? And then you made copies, and then they made copies of the copies of the copies of the copies of the copies.
Have that, and I won't stand for that.
You don't really have much choice. It's other people's opinions, and it's based on your behavior.
Pass, obviously, the name calling, because as you pointed out, it's significant in your line of work, being labeled a hacker, especially on a national stage. Like you said, your words.
Well, for the record, I don't know that anybody labeled him a hacker. They just thought it was weird that he just felt like he could look at the private contents of anybody's hard drive because he made a copy of it. Here's the fucked up part. And this is, asshole, this is where your story isn't just like kind of an accidental doofy thing. His story is that Hunter Biden dropped these 3 laptops off. Only one of them was salvageable. He took he replaced the keyboard on one that was unsalvageable, whatever the fuck that means, or gave him another one, even though he never came to pick it up. Would he just wrap a cord around it and sit it over on the side? The fuck? And that's never been clear. But the one that actually had the information that he got file by file, that he copied off because the hard drive would start up, and then he'd have to take it off, and he would die, and then he'd copy it, and he would which is something you can rig to, like, with malware. Anyways, he copies all that stuff to a hard drive, and the story is that Hunter Biden never came back to claim the computers. So he considered them his own property. Well, by that time, he'd already made the copies of the files, and the other computer wouldn't even start up. So arguably, at that point, because it just fried after he tried a couple times, he copied the files that he could onto a solid-state hard drive, which is what he had a copy of. And then the hard drive, the laptop itself, he says he gave to the FBI, and he kept this copy. But since he gave it to the FBI, and he kept the copy, and that's what he was like looking at and seeing criminality on. He wasn't even seeing it on the original hard drive. Let's just say that hard drive ain't the same. First of all, the hard drive's named laptop. But at what point, I guess that's the question in the timeline of this that's ultimately bullshit, is that he copied all these files over, and then it sat for a while, which was like, what's a while? A week and a half? 2 weeks? It wasn't months. And then he's like, I need to look at this stuff, because on the laptop was a sticker for the Beau Biden Foundation.
It's a death sentence. Are you?
It's not a death sentence. He can work in tech anywhere. He just can't have his own shop, because if anybody finds out that he's the guy working there, they're gonna I'm not leaving my stuff there. Fucker's gonna read it all.
Even working right now, and explain that to us.
Of course he's working. Look behind him. He's at his actual shop.
I fix very few Macs these days.
Yeah, it's weird how the Mac crowd, maybe it should move to PCs. Because I guess they'll be, what are they, a little easier going on the whole, like, yeah, fucking look at my hard drive. Go ahead.
Mainly because I just don't want to let too many people know where I live or how to get a hold of me.
You're in your fucking shop, dum-dum. That's the shop. That's the logo on the wall.
So it's not something I advertise. I'm doing odd jobs here and there, but lately it's been focused on these lawsuits. A lot of my...
Yes, making money off of this bullshit story. By the way, it's not going. I love how he left some tools out, and it's the same fucking 2011, 2010 Mac What do you think? 2010? Like, what does he actually think? It's the same one. He hasn't moved at all.
Energy's focused on getting.
Only thing that's moved in the background is there's now a small laptop, it looks like a PC one or something, sitting on top of this old Mac here. And then he's got an America laptop cover pointing away so I can look at the flag. America.
Getting my book published.
Getting my book published. Peekaboo. The Jean-Paul Isaac story.
And holding those accountable. What happened in
You are accountable, 100%.
October 2020 should never happen again. There was a coordinated, colluded effort between mainstream and social media to interfere with an election,
No, there wasn't. No, there wasn't. By the way, show him the laptop. Is that it? Is it? It can't be that one. It's got an American flag. That's got to be some Patriots. Hunter Biden would never have that. He's probably got some hammer and sickle.
prevent a story with actual consequences from reaching the American people. And I want to figure out who's that.
Yeah, all stories have. The story of Hansel and Gretel has consequences if your kids don't understand the message and end up getting eaten on their way to the bus stop.
At the bottom of that, who gave the marching orders and who told the 51 intelligence experts that this was Russian disinformation campaign.
Read it, dum-dum. It says all the markings have won. You're not getting fucked. Like, this isn't going to happen. And dude, you can't even identify the FBI guys. All right. He says the FBI was in on it. We're more than halfway through this fucking clip.
Who told the mainstream and legacy media to perpetuate this narrative that this was all coming.
I think it was the birds. I think it was all the birds. They're all listening. You can hear them outside. They're outside. They're on the windowsill. Their eyes look right through me.
From the Kremlin. I want to get to the bottom of it, and I think I owe it to the American people to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, dude, take a break. You don't owe me anything.
So this is more than defamation to.
Wait, who the fuck was yelling at him? Hold on.
I owe it to the American people to get to the bottom of it.
So this is more than defamation to you, from what I'm gathering and talking.
That echo feedback problem? Yeah, Dad. I stopped using laptops like 10 years ago. Yeah, no, it's amazing. These phones, you can do everything. I don't even need one anymore. Yeah. I don't know those pictures of me. Yeah. I thought they were hilarious too. Who doesn't have a picture of themselves in like a denim vest in their underwear flexing for... It's fucking 2021. I know.
Talking to you right now, this is bigger than you.
Nothing is bigger than him, buddy.
This was collusion. Zuckerberg said during the Senate hearing in 2020 that the FBI approached Google, Facebook, and Twitter to warn them of a massive dump of documents to be released shortly before the election, and to be on the lookout because it's going to be coming from a foreign power.
Right.
So the FBI, who knew I was in possession, who knew that, or obviously, because this happened a week after I mailed a drive to Rudy Giuliani's office.
Huh. Yeah, you think?
So
it's basically what you're telling me is they had Rudy under surveillance. All right, you've reaffirmed my belief in the FBI.
The FBI was in on it. The DOJ's been in on it. Who else is in on it? And we need to figure.
Everybody except the Kremlin. The irony, I can't believe it. It's so funny. You know, I've been looking around. The only people not involved in this entire thing was Vladimir Putin. He's the only innocent person in all of this.
Figure this out, because this is not how we elect our officials.
And
yeah, it is. Yeah, and one of the things that happens every so often is that bullshit stories either get planted or blown out of proportion all the time. Ask Gary Hart, because that was a setup too. Ask Roger Stone about the fucking lap picture. You're talking about a laptop. You know, the first dude who was busted for a fucking laptop issue, Gary fucking Hart. Hold on one second. Let me, oops. Quit it. Gary Hart. Get out of here. This one, here it is. There you go. This picture right here is girl sitting on his lap while he was on this boat. And the whole thing was like a giant, the road to Bimini. Look at this shit. Him hanging out with Warren Beatty and Jack Nicholson and the destruction of politician Gary Hart. Like, Gary Hart asked me to marry him, said the girl, even though he's already married. And then we find out later, of course, this was a fucking setup. And then, the Donna Rice affair. And considering where we are now, the irony that anybody would give a rat fuck about the internals of a person's relationship like that is hysterical. But I would argue that is the first laptop scandal in American political history. Because she's on top of her. What's up? I think I'm the only person to make that joke. The original laptop scandal, it was Gary Hart. Donna Rice sitting on his lap. All right.
And to be very factual, Hunter Biden still is under investigation by federal authorities, again.
For tax shit, and it's not going anywhere, and who gives a rat fuck?
Though not much is known at this time. John Paul.
It's a mystery. Let's pretend we know even less than we really, really do.
Mac Isaac, the one who turned in that Hunter Biden laptop, joining.
No. And why didn't you tell the fucking story about the FBI agents again? I want to ask this fucker. He probably only goes on Newsmax, though.
This live here with details on his defamation suit. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
There were no details. There weren't. There was a bunch of blather. He's repeating what his lawyer said to him.
Coming back on.
Right. Said that Hart goes down faster than Hindenburg, but Trump, with all the scandalous videos, photos, and audio, far from worse, gets elected president. Far worse, gets elected president. Exactly. By the way, hold on. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. It's a hair down Monday. It's a hair down. It's kind of like a hoedown, except no hoes were harmed in the making of this video that I know of. All deference to Gary Hart scandal. And Hunter Biden phone pics that magically showed up on his laptop. Very strange. Anyways, the cloud is the cloud, I suppose. Anyways, like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Support the show in any way you can. Don't forget, you can subscribe. Look at that. 10-11. We're going to get to 11-11, and we're going to have to make a wish. Don't forget to subscribe if you're on YouTube. You can also become a member on there if you don't want to, if you like, there's Patreon, there's stars if you're on Facebook right now. It's another great way to support the show. And then there's always Venmo. We'll always have Venmo. It's always there. It's always waiting. It's always the gift of Venmo.